tax filing season is here. February 24th onwards, you'll be able to file your taxes online. And in today's video, I'll show you how you can do this for free using Wealthsimple Tax. I use Wealthsimple Tax to file my taxes, and I have shown this over years. Now, I find Wealthsimple Tax to be super user friendly. It has simple interface, and it also prompts me if I am missing out anything, which you will be able to see in today's video. So you also have an option to use my referral link, which I'll be sharing in the description. And when you use the referral link, we both get benefited, as you can see on the screen. So feel free to use the referral link. Most of the talking I'll be doing on the computer screen, and I will be showing how I am doing the tax filing. And that way you get to know what this app is all about. So let's go to the computer screen. If you do your tax filing by March 21st, 2025, you have some incentive, and that is that the Canada Carbon Rebate CCR, which was previously known as Climate Action Incentive Payment, that payment will be done to you on April 15, 2025. If you file after March 21, 2025, you still get it in case you are eligible. Only thing is you'll have to wait for 6 to 8 weeks after your tax return has been assessed. So there is an incentive if you do before March 21st, 2025. Remaining dates I already talked about, that is March 3, the deadline. In case you have not contributed to RRSP and you are thinking of doing that, you still have time till March 3rd, 2025. April 30 is the deadline to file your taxes, and any payment due, that deadline is also April 30. And in case you, your spouse or common law partner are self-employed, then you have this date of June 15, 2025. However, what you need to know is that any tax dues still has to be paid even for this beforehand, that is by April 30, to avoid any penalty thereafter. So with this is the Wealthsimple website. The link will be there in the description. Once you click here, you come to this interface, and you can see here you can do your personal and business tax filing both. Now, once you click start filing, here you will sign up using your email ID and password. And once you have signed up and you have logged in, you will come to this interface where you can create your profile. That could be your name, nickname, anything like that. And you can have multiple filing done from the same place. For example, if you have your spouse and you want to do as a combined tax filing, we do that as a combined tax filing at our home. So in that case, you have that flexibility here to do the tax return. Each person's name will be separate, and when you're filing in, you have option to combine and do the tax filing together. And that is one way to optimize and also notify CRA the household income. So I will not go much into detail. Now, once you have done with your profile creation, let me click here. Now the entire tax return page getting loaded. So you're shown this page, and you can see here there are 3 different plans here: basic, plus, pro, and each has a price point. So this is 0, or if you want to pay, you can pay what you can. It is completely up to you. And if you don't want, you can go with the $0 filing. In case you want to go for plus, it is 40 plus tax, and if it is pro, 80 plus tax. And you can read here difference between all 3. So for my kind of tax filing, this works perfect for $0, and this is what I'm going to select. And before that, you see here, tax return with capital gain cannot be submitted via Netfile or printed at this time. We'll update this notice as we receive direction from CRA. So this is not worrisome for me because I don't have any tax gain to show. So once click here, this is the page where we will be filling out all the detail one by one. If you are employed, then you will get T4 statement, and that will have all the detail. You can see a sample here. In your case, you will receive this from employer, and most of the employers send this by end of February or at least by first week of March. So once you have in your hand, you will be able to see the T4 with all the detail which is mentioned as you can see on the screen here, and then each of the cells have number, and against number the details will be written, including the income tax which has been deducted. So this report goes to CRA, and CRA would have this. Then similarly, T4A is a statement of pension, retirement, annuity and other income, which includes the self-employed commission also. So this is how the T4A slip looks like. And in case you have T4A slip, you will be able to see the detail, and it will have all the detail including any fee, service, honoraries, self-employed commission. So whatever the entry is, you will be able to see against these numbers. So this is T4A. If you are a student, you would get this tuition and enrollment certificate. And again, that would have all the detail, including the eligible tuition fee detail. So these document, whatever I'm talking about, a copy of this is also there with CRA, unless this has not been reported from your employer or you. So once you have these with you in hand, in addition, in case you have any investments, I have investing account with Questrade, that is margin account. And in Questrade, when you click on documents, under document, you have a section where you can come and see the tax slip. And for the tax year 2024, all the tax slip will get shown to you. I have multiple accounts, so of course I have hidden the detail, but you can see this is where the tax slip will come, and this is how the tax slip looks like. So this is for Questrade. And Wealthsimple, once you come here under the document section, you will be able to find tax details. And in Newton, when you click here, you see here statement and report. Once you click here, tax report, this is where you will find the tax report for crypto. And then if you have with bank or institution any of the investments, then in that case, that again will be provided by your bank and institution. So all in all, you would have all these documents against which either the tax deduction has happened or tax deduction has to happen. So once these documents are there with you, it becomes easy for you to do check, recheck, cross-check with the details what is there with CRA. So in this case, when you go to your My CRA account, you will be able to see whatever tax deduction has happened so far. All those details will be there. And then once you reference these documents, you will be able to match with what is where. Now, in case you are a newcomer, you will not have access to My CRA account. This access comes in after you have the first filing done, and you also need Netfile. So I'll talk about this a little later. In your case, you will have to rely on these documents to fill in the details and then submit the tax by post to CRA. Those of you who have previously filed taxes with CRA, you will have your My CRA credentials, and you can check your notice of assessment of previous year, that is last year. And in that notice of assessment, you see here below, you will have a code written like this, something like this. This is an example. So this is the code which will be used for your e-submission with CRA. So if you have this, you will be able to directly submit all your tax information to CRA, and almost instantly everything happens within few days. The notice of assessment also comes digitally. So this is the beauty about this. So remember where you can find this. This will be under notice of assessment. You will find this code. So remember where you can find this. This will be under notice of assessment. You will find this code. Let's get started with the tax filing now. And you see here about you. Here you enter your first name, middle name, last name. In case you have middle name, you enter that. This is optional. And then your social insurance number, date of birth in the format what is shown. Make sure you are following the format which is given here. Then preferred language, I have selected English here. You can select from the drop down if it is other than English. If it is French, you can select that. Then the province and territory you live on December 31st, 2020. So once that is selected, is this return for a deceased person? Here my response is no. Then let's come down. Autofill and add form. So you see here, autofill your form. Once you click here, you can import your detail from CRA account directly to Wealthsimple. Any T-slip, that is the tax slip where deduction has happened from you and the information is available with CRA, that will directly get connected and auto-populated here. If you are a newcomer, you will not be able to import this information at this time. In this add form section, let me click here. You see the suggestion is to import from CRA My account first. So it's asking to connect to CRA. If you have that option, you must go ahead and do that. It makes your life that much easier, as your RRSP contribution, employment income, investment income, capital gain taxes, losses, everything will get populated automatically. And in case you don't have that option, I'm going ahead with add forms. Once you click here, you come to this page, get started, and here you will choose options what is applicable to you. So if you are employed, you will select this. At the same time, if you are also self-employed and freelancing, you will have to select this. If you are a student, you will select this. So you will go ahead and go with the question and select whatever is applicable. In case you have no income, no employment, in that case, you will go ahead and select none of the above. When you make the selection based on the selection you're making, if it is employment, it will show up as the T4 section. If it is self-employment, then it will show up as T4A section, which initially I had showed you the slip. So all that information what is there in that template, that will get transferred to that section, which we will see as we go ahead. So once the selection is made, you click next, and then you are asked this question: which employment slip did you receive? So I'm selecting T4, and then next, did you receive any of the other slips in 2024? Asking the question. So in case if it is, you make that selection. Not, then go next. Then you are asked again question: I was a teacher, eligible educator who purchased school supplies, not applicable. I was a commission employee, employed tradesperson, apprentice, mechanic, musician, forestry worker, or transportation employee. So you go with each of these questions and make a selection if it is applicable to you. This is for work from home and I have other home expenses. I will make this selection. And then I received income from tip, occasional, casual earning and royalties. If it is, you will make that selection. If it is union, professional or similar dues were paid that was not listed on the slip, then you will make the selection. I have moving expense only if moved for a new job or educational program. You will make the selection. I received income from foreign employment or investment. Accordingly, you will make the selection. So here you can see I have made this selection here, which is work from home as an option. Then going next, which statement apply to you in 2024? So I have dependent for whom I want to claim child or caregiver credit. So if it is applicable, you will make a selection here. I was eligible for disability tax credit, donations or charitable contribution which was made, political contribution, medical expense. I made or received support payment, that is spousal support, child support. I made income tax installment payment. I took mandatory licensing examination. I was a member of the clergy. I was volunteer firefighter or search and rescue person. I was living in a prescribed northern or intermediate zone. I had other amount that are deductible in line 2,3,200 or 25,600. I filled out form GST 370 and received taxable GST HST rebate on my 2023 tax return. So if it is applicable, you will have to make that selection. If not, click next. These are some less common tax situation. I paid for qualifying Canadian digital news subscription. I made contribution to amateur athletic trust. I donated ecological gift or gift for culture and property. I made gift for capital property. I received a T101. I received a NSVCTC 1 receipt. I received NSIETC 1 receipt. And then you see here, I want to pay CPP premium or under deduction income like tip. I need to report split income. I had physical or mental impairment and have unpaid medical expenses that are not yet to be claimed. I have received income from a wage loss replacement plan. I have a current or prior year investment tax credit. I have Canadian resource expenditures, CCEE, CCDE, CCOGPE. Then there are further some more. You go through this list and if any of them are applicable, you will make that selection. In my case, I'm just going ahead with next, and based on the selection what has been made, click finish. Based on the selection, you see these forms have been added here. Employment income, this is the table. We come down, then employment expense and work from home expense, this is the table. We'll come to this little later. Let's go on top and start from there. Netfile access code I already talked about earlier, and you can see here this code does not apply to you if you are filing your tax return for the first time. So if you have, you will enter it here. Then comes the mailing address part. So here you will enter your unit, street number, street name, city, then the province and postal code. Then you will enter your home telephone number. So if it is a 10-digit number, first 3 digit will get entered here and then remaining number will get entered here. So once this is done, do you have a non-Canadian mailing address? My response here is no. About your residency, were you a Canadian resident for all of 2024? The response is yes. And about the province or territory, here I have selected Ontario. In your case, you will have to select the province where you have stayed. If your province or territory of residence changed in 2024, enter the date of your move. So in case you moved from any other province to a different province, then you'll have to mention the date here from the selection, that is month and year 2024. Is your home address same as mailing address? I'm saying yes. In which province or territory do you currently live? I'm selecting Ontario. And then you and your family, marital status, I'm showing married. Do you want to prepare your return together? For this video, I'm saying no. We, however, do return together, and that is a way to optimize, and lot of things gets ironed out when you are submitting together. A lot of tax credit, benefit, all those calculations gets matched overall based on the household income. Did your marital status change? No. Do you have any dependents? So here in our case, we do have. So I'm saying yes. Did you have any children in shared custody? My response is no. Other stuff we have to ask. General question. Are you filing an income tax with a CRA for the first time? Here my response is no. But if it is yes in your case, you will make that selection. Are you a Canadian citizen? I am a Canadian citizen, so I am selecting yes. If not, you will make the selection as no. As a Canadian citizen, do you authorize the Canada Revenue Agency to give your name, address, date of birth, and citizenship to Elections Canada to update the National Register of Electors? Or if you are aged 14 to 17, to update the register for future. And so I have selected yes. I'm already registered. I made a video on that. And since election is coming, these kind of things will help you to be always updated with the elections can. So based on that selection, are you a person registered under the Indian Act? The response here is no. Then comes property and thing you may have invested in. Did you own or hold specified foreign property? That value is mentioned here in 2024. Response is no. Did you dispose of your principal residence in 2024? Here my response is no. Did you flip a property in 2024? My response here is no. Did you open first home saving account in 2024 or become a successor holder in 2024 and did not open another FHSA of your own in 2023 or 2024? My response here is no. So you'll have to choose your answers accordingly. We have to ask because it affects some calculation where you confined to prison for a period of 90 days or more in 2024. The response here is no. Then here you have Canada carbon rebate. Do you live outside of census metropolitan area or within a rural area or small population center of the same CMA and expect to continue to do so in April 1st, 2025? Here my response is no. Mississauga is part of Toronto Census Metropolitan Area, that is CMA, so it does not qualify as a rural area for Canada Carbon Rebate Rural Supplement. So how to find this information? Here is the supplement. So this link again will be there in the description. Once you come down, here it shows you do you qualify or not qualify, and then depending on your province. So right now I'm in Ontario, and here in the Ontario, this is where Mississauga is shown and under the Toronto. So you'll have to go and look at the map and you would know if you fall under this rural area. Then you have organ and tissue donor register. So again here can consent as yes or no depending on your information and your willingness. Then comes Ontario Trillium Benefit. Will you apply for the Ontario Trillium Benefit? Here I'm selecting yes. Most people apply for this tax credit. So once this is done, CRA My Account, online mail. Do you want to sign up for online mail to get your notice of assessment through CRA My Account? I have already signed up. I can go and keep the selection here. If not signed up, then select no, not yet. Once that is made, add last year's form. This is helpful if tax return is similar each year. This way the form will get to know how last year it was done and it will just try to automatically add any carry forward amount. You can select add to return, or I will skip this part and come down. Manage tax form. At start, I had made selection for T4 and then work from home form, and accordingly that was populated. In case there are any other form that can be added by coming here. For example, say you have worked with two different companies as a full-time employee. So you would get two separate T4, one from the previous organization and one from the current organization. And you would be adding then two separate section, one T4 for previous organization, one T4 for the next organization. That way, the system will calculate overall the T4 calculation and show you on the refund or money owed to CRA part. Accordingly, RRSP say the contribution is getting made by March 3 of 2025. Till then, the RRSP contribution can be made. Now, I would like to add that part 2. So, I can come here and search for that RRSP part, RRSP contribution and deduction. I'm selecting this form. Now, this is also added here below. In case you have contribution on first home saving account, then just come here and search for first home saving account by typing here. And as you keep typing, you see you are shown these two options. And between these two options, this is the one FHSA statement T4 FSHA. You made a contribution to or a withdrawal from FHSA. You will make the selection. This one is home buyer's amount. You bought your first home, or if you qualified for disability amount, you bought a home. So you'll be making this selection FHSA. Once you make the selection, as you can see, the first home saving account allows you to claim the deduction on contribution and make withdrawal tax free for first time purchase. So here this P form will be provided by your institution or bank wherever you have contributed for the first home saving account. If you had opened with Wealthsimple will be giving you this document. Just look at the document and fill in the details where you will be giving all this detail from the statement what you get. Name of the payer, and then look at the slip and make the entry here. Let me go up. Accordingly, you can add additional forms. For example, if you're working full time, so you will have T4, and if you work on commission basis or you are providing service and you have T4A, then you can add that additional T4A form. Accordingly, you can keep adding form by coming here and looking at the filter category. This is the entire list. As you keep coming down, you will get to see the entire list. As I said, I'm going as per my situation, and in most cases, if you're an employee, you would have T4 and then the home office expense like me. Once this part is complete, you can also import your slip, that is Wealthsimple crypto. If you have, it can automatically be imported. I don't own any crypto in Wealthsimple. Accordingly, this is the crypto with other exchange I have with Newton. Again, you can import gain and loss by clicking here and giving access to the Newton platform. It will get everything at once. This is to auto fill. Coming down here, depending on the marital status you have selected. So I'm married, I'm shown spouse or common law partner detail. In case you're single, this section won't come up for you. And here, do you want to prepare your return together? We do that always. In that case, you will go and link the return so that both the returns can be consolidated and go at once. If you don't want, then you have an option to check here like this, and it won't report partner's income. Then you enter partner's first name, last name, date of birth, SIN, that information you will have to enter. Once that is done, did you live together for all of 2024? The response is yes. And then you have dependents detail, because in our case we have a dependent. So that dependent detail will get, which is name, relationship, date of birth, SIN, net income, that will be 0. When did the child have any infirmity or disability? Response is no. Tax credit for your child. Did you have any additional expenses? No. Claim the Ontario amount for dependent children. Claim if eligible. I have selected this. Then did you have childcare expense? In our case, we did have childcare expense. We send the kid to daycare. So response here is yes. Then the childcare detail, their identification number, and boarding school or overnight camp, it's no. In our case, this week is only required if it is boarding school or overnight. I leave it blank. And then the eligible expense. All this was provided by the daycare as a consolidated tax slip. So based on what those details were, I'm just making that entry here. One thing to note here is when it comes to tax credit, like in this case child, so between both the spouses, in this case for the child, only one spouse can claim the credit. And when I was trying to do my research online, what I found, and I'm just sharing this, I'm not an expert, is that the lower income earner claiming makes much more sense. So I will leave it at this. Between both spouse, only one spouse should be doing this part. And let's continue. Saving for child's education, don't miss out on government grant. So in case you have not opened RESP, you have an option. So basically here Wealthsimple is trying to take me to open an RESP on their platform. Right now I'm avoiding this. And child care expense deduction and Ontario care tax credit. So here you see what I mentioned earlier, you have higher net income than my wife's name. So they must claim the child care deduction unless an exception applies. Only fill out the section when both returns are. So this is what I was telling, between the both earner, whoever has the lesser earning, that's what the recommendation. Even when I was doing online research, I found out, since I have higher net income and I will not be eligible to claim the childcare expense. My response here is no. So whatever entry I had made earlier, that will not come in the calculation what I have inputted this. Let's come down. So this is the employment income section. Here all I am doing is I am looking at the T4 and make entry as it is given in this T4 without any deviation. So all I am doing is transferring this information to this place. As I have entered the salary part, you see right now this has changed to IO 42,912, and as I keep filling all the detail, you will see the revision happening. And as we keep updating further, the revision further will happen and we will see whether we'll get a refund or I have to pay to CRA. Once all the information from T4 has been populated here, you can see all the entries made here. Now the owing comes to this amount, and we will be further adding details and see how this revision keeps happening. So this entry, once it is made, you have provision to add another T4 in case you had a change of company. So you would have two different T4. So you can come and add here and make an entry accordingly. Then same with T4A. In case you have T4A with you, you will enter the details. Looking at the T4A, I'm not going to do the entry here. And once you make those entries, you will see the difference here. And once we come down further, in case you're a student and you have tuition and education amount, then in that case, once you select yes, you will enter the program or course, tuition fee, number of month and number of month full time. So those detail again straight will come from the slip what you have, and since I don't have, I'm deleting this and deleting this. Coming to employment expense and work from home expense, in case you're working on hybrid or remote, you might have option to do this calculation. I will not be going in this video in complete detail, so I'll show you where you can find the calculation part, and calculation video will be a separate video to which the link will be there in the description. So you can see here, once I have entered my details, salaried and name of the employer, and then details of the home, the refund amount shows here now in positive. So 842 is a change. So as I said, the detailed calculation you will find in a separate video. When it comes to the Ontario Prelim benefit, here both spouse have to file together to reflect this part. Since I'm not doing it, not showing in my case, then comes the RRSP contribution and deduction. So in most cases, what happens is that by year end, the RRSP contribution does not get made. So when you get your T4 slip from your employer, that will not reflect, but you have time to do later. So in this case, March 3rd, 2025. So once that contribution is made, you will enter that detail in case you have made the RRSP contribution, and you will see that the refund changes accordingly. As Canada has marginal tax rate, once you do the contribution on RRSP, it reduces your overall taxable income, and then you also get to see the refund part. When it comes to RRSP contribution, again, I made a detailed video. If you want, you can go and check that. You would know what your RRSP contribution can be. Once we come here, deduction limit is the annual limit of 18% of your earned income in the previous year up to dollar limit for tax year. And your deduction limit includes the annual limit and any unused deduction room from previous year. And here unused contribution, the total amount of contribution made in previous years that have not been claimed as tax deduction. Not going into much detail here. Whatever your RSP contribution is, that you will make an entry. I have made my entry, and you can see once I have made those entries here, when the contribution was made, and description is not mandatory, but can write, and then the amount which has been contributed. So once you make those entries, you will see the refund reflect here, as I said. Then once you come down, you have this lifelong learning plan and home bias plan. In case you have, you can select accordingly from this drop down. and then make an entry of what your contribution is, and then any unused contribution in prior year. In my case, it's no. So once that is done, we are ready to review and optimize. And here, just click on review and optimize in case there are any mistakes or any opportunity to save money that will get highlighted. So let's do this. Here, these are the warning. Are you sure you want to file your tax without entering the access code? Looks like I have made a mistake entering in box 16 of T4. So I will definitely review that part. There may be a typo in box 26 of your T4 slip. We recommend you to review T4 slip before you submit your return. So again, I'll review this part. Then some of the suggestions I'm getting in case there are any capital loss from last year that can be added. I don't have any, so I'm taking this out. GST, HST, not in my case. And then get a refund faster with direct deposit. Sign up for direct deposit or update your bank detail CRA before you submit your return. So in my case, I already have a direct deposit option. I just need to go and connect that part. And as I said, let me review T4 part and then come back. I had made a error in the entry, so I have made the correction, and you can see now the total refund is reflecting with a change. And then you go and review and optimize, then check, recheck, cross check before you go ahead and do the submit. Now, as you can see, the Netfile opens on February 24th. So right now the CRA Netfile will not work. That is, you will not be able to do this online. You will have to wait till February 24th, and after that you will be able to submit it. And if you're a newcomer, you will download this form, take a printout and send mail to CRA to the address. Find the CRA address where the tax filing document has to be sent. You will come to this website. The link will be there in the description. And once you come down here, you have this mailing address selection done. Do you live in Canada? Yes. Which province or territory do you live in? I have selected Ontario. So you have this drop down here. And then you select the location. I have selected Mississauga. And once I make that selection here and select personal tax, it shows the address where it has to be sent. So this is how you can check the detail where it has to be sent. In case you owe any money to CRA, so you can make a payment. Again, the link will be there in the description. You have option to pay online, or you can also walk into Canada Post retail location and do a payment with debit card or cash, and that will be considered as paid same day you have made the payment and stamped by the clerk. So in case you're not able to do online, this is the second best method, as this is going to be more reliable than anything else I feel. I've seen in my case, whenever I have done an online submission, within no time the notice of assessment acknowledgement comes, notice of assessment comes, and if there are any refund, that also gets initiated fairly quickly. So the best method is to do online with Netfile. CRA gets it online and there are no chance of any misplacement. And this is fairly simple, I have found, and I hope you find it too useful. And there are many other videos for you which you can go and check, and I'm sure that will be of help to you. Thanks for watching.